It was a dark and stormy night, the kind that sends shivers down your spine. As thunder rumbled, the oligarchs gathered, scheming in the shadows, aligning themselves with a Russian-backed Nazi. Their goal? To secure tax cuts funded by the working class, all while space exploration, once a nationalized, collective endeavor, fell into the hands of the elite. In their quest to escape the impending climate crisis, they envisioned lavish billionaire bunkers on Mars, aided by the likes of Russian oligarchs and Elon Musk among them, leaving the rest of humanity to grapple with the wreckage of their greed. Welcome to Gaslit Nation's Halloween radio play 2024. Over the years, we've asked our listeners to contribute original works of art that we bring to life on the show, weaving together spooky tales that mirror the real-life nightmares we all face together. We've received many captivating plays from our community over the years. If you have a Halloween radio play to share for next year, we'd love to see it. Send your submissions to GaslitNation@gmail.com. It's a thrill to explore the imaginative minds of our community. This year's radio play, for this extra spine-tingling year, is by Nancy Wallace, and it was produced by Eliza Smith and Karlyn Daigle. It's called The Bigly.
The Bigly. A long time ago, not too far from here, the White Rich Toy Manufacturing Company invented something pretty special. The company was failing. They'd been making the same kinds of toys for too long. People were bored. Nobody was buying their stuff anymore. So the owners looked all over the world at all the most popular toys, and they collected all the best ideas, and they came back and invented the Bigly. The Bigly was different, hard to define. Not exactly an action figure, definitely some kind of puppet. It was oddly colored and attention-grabbing. Most kids hated it. Its big face looked vicious, dull, and ridiculous. It was soft, but in a gross way, not a snuggly way. Some kids felt like throwing up. They hurled it to the ground in disgust. But some kids fell in love with it. They were entranced and bedazzled by this strange new toy. In its painted face, they saw everything they ever wanted. They hugged it close at night, when it was dark and they were afraid. They talked amongst themselves about how the Bigly spoke to them in their dreams. It told them they were special. They were the real kids who deserved all the best stuff. These Bigly lovers got super weird. They seemed mad all the time. They vowed to be Bigly fans for life. Their Legos and Marvel Black Panther Wakanda Forever Okoye fashion dolls gathered dust under their beds. They only wanted Bigly. The White Rich Company's Bigly Janks accessories, long, smooth, pale little figures with creepy smiles, were no substitute for the original. The fans loved their Biglies. The Never Bigly kids were baffled and upset, of course. They wanted their friends and brothers and sisters back the way they used to be. And then Raoul found the first picture in the grass outside his house. It was tiny, no bigger than a baby's thumbnail. He only noticed it because it was shiny. It showed a full-face photo of Raoul's grandma. She looked dead. On the back of the picture was a fancy silver capital B. Raoul took it to his grandma and held it in his palm, right in front of her face. She refused to look. Raoul and the other Nevers carefully checked around their houses. They found dozens of tiny pictures of their neighbors, all with silver bees on the back. They all looked dead. What did it mean?
"I know we're just kids," said Raoul, "but we're not idiots. Time to wave bye-bye to Bigley. We all knew that poopy head was bad news. Time to get cracking."
Desperate, the Nevers hiked out to the town's actual brick-and-mortar library. There, in the stacks, they found dusty, ancient books about evil toys from the past, with scary pictures and horrible stories in them. The Nevers learned the Bigley wasn't a new toy monster. It couldn't really be killed either. Like some diseases, though, it could be managed. Using true information from real books, they made a plan. Under the next full moon, they executed it. Moving like ninjas, they slipped every Bigley out of every slumbering fan's arms on that exhilarating night. They piled them onto sheets and tarps, not daring to stare into the angry little puffy eyes and beefy orange faces. They dragged them to the town's enormous yet strangely isolated golf course and spent the night hours digging and burying, digging and burying. They could hear the Bigleys hissing and whining furiously as they shoveled dirt onto them. But they stayed put, thank God. It was nearly dawn when the Nevers all stumbled home, filthy and exhausted. You can imagine how the next day went. The fans freaked out. The Bigleys were the best thing they ever had, they insisted. Everyone should have one. Give them back, now! They screamed. They cried. Some forgot their toilet training and left a huge mess in the house. The grown-ups politely requested that they stop. That didn't work. Eventually, though, they had no choice but to settle for ranting about how they got totally screwed out of their Bigleys that time, and wasn't it just an outrage? But now, the Nevers lie awake at night, always afraid, wondering, is it really over? Because the few brave souls who dared go back to check the Bigley burial grounds saw that it never was a golf course at all. Saw instead, in the light of day, the crudely hand-painted sign on weathered boards that read, "Ex-Wife Cemetery."